This is the subject of today's Ding Dong. Should you ever work with your spouse? Actress and comedian... Actress and comedian Meera Syal, who works closely with her husband Sanjeev Bhaskar, says he's the best colleague she could wish for. Meanwhile, journalist Anna-May Mangan argues that a relationship between husband and wife should be of the romantic sort, not the business. Ooh, it's a contentious issue, fraught with peril. I don't know why I'm standing in the middle of them. Without further ado, let battle commence. Meera, good idea.
Yes, I certainly feel that my husband and I creatively do really well together. We have a great shorthand because we know each other so well, and that really helps in the kind of work we do. But also, importantly, we are able to switch off. You know, I think you're very boring if the only thing you can actually talk about is your work. We do talk a bit about the work, even if when we're working together, but we have so many other things we talk about too.
So it's to have somebody else to talk about as well, and then you can work together. No?
Well, I love my husband dearly, but he won't take the bins out, so how is it going to work? And I can honestly say, excuse me, I can honestly say that if I got my dream job of massaging George Clooney every day, but I had to be... my partner was my husband, I'd turn it down. It's a recipe for disaster. When I think of couples working together, I think of Bonnie and Clyde, and they didn't get on very well, did they?
They got on very well with each other, but not with other people, really.
Dangerous liaison.
So it can be... Surely it depends on the couple, doesn't it, really? That's what it boils down to.
Well, that probably does boil down to it. If you're well-matched anyway, whether you work together or you don't, you should be able to rub along pretty well. And I have to say, certainly in my case, you know, whenever I work with my husband, it's only in small patches. Yeah. You know, I don't know what it's like to work with him day in, day out for years. But I do have friends that run businesses together, and they seem to be very happy. But I think the key is you've got to have other interests.
There is that
all
thing.
you have is your work, then
yeah, because I think there's a
recipe
difference
for
between the
disaster.
boardroom and the bedroom.
Yeah.
And if you think about Dragon's Den or The Apprentice, Alan Sugar, none of them work with their partners. None of them, do they? The most successful business people in this country don't bring their husband or wife to work, just as you wouldn't bring your dog or your child. So really, leave him at home.
Mr. Mitchell, any thoughts? Would you work with your spouse?
I did work with my wife for just a little over 5 years, and I think it'd be safe to say that if it had carried on for much longer, one of us had been under the patio by now.
Oh, God. Yes, that famous old saying, for better, for worse, but not for lunch. So, you need, as long as you get your space, though, couldn't you do it if you, as Meera says, as long as you allow your space as well?
No, because a business is a business. And really, I mean, I don't know how many of you work in businesses where you had to have appraisals. Imagine sitting down with your husband and him appraising you, or you appraising him. I mean, it would turn into a fist fight in my house, for sure. So, no, it's definitely a recipe for disaster.
Disaster? You are a recipe for disaster. A walking recipe for disaster.
Apparently.
Does Sanjeev feel the same way about it as you do? Does he... would he be as kind about it as you?
He
or would he
probably
say...
would, but I think it's because our working life together is in short, intense bursts, and that really suits us very well. Actually, on a practical level, we can't work together the hours we do because we have a child, and the childcare just isn't practical. One of us has to be at home.
But you do not need a piece of paper to somehow give some kind of legislation to that commitment.
But isn't being married to somebody more than a piece of paper? And you don't mind people opening up a newspaper and seeing you topless, it's
No, I don't. I'm so proud of my body that I'm willing to show it off to people.